Hi, Florian.
Hey, Dheeraj.
Hi. So,
So let's go for the second round.
yes. How can I? Okay, you are the host. Or
But you
reclaim
should,
host. Yeah, I
yeah,
reclaimed it.
yes, exactly.
All right. Yes, let's go second round. And can you see my screen now?
Mm-hmm. I see everything on your desktop, and now I see the
Perfect.
slides. So let's see. I suppose Roger is already here.
Nice.
Hello, Roger.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Hi, we are doing good, Roger.
So let's see how many people will attend. I think in the morning session we had roughly 27 joining out of 60 registrations, and maybe at this session will be half. Let's see.
Right. So, what was the strength of this registration actually? 15, I guess, right?
No, I think registration wise it was 30 something, half of the morning session, but let's see. So basically then at the end for the question and answer session, I think Roger will support, and for the rest, we will proceed like in the morning session.
Right. Yeah. I'll yeah. If I don't, I mean, if I can't answer, I'll pass it on to Roger.
Yep, and then I can add something at the end if I feel the answer could be.
Yes, exactly. So
better.
you can
Yeah.
basically add on each other answering.
Right.
So yeah, we had quite a few questions in the morning session. So
right. Yes.
but which is good actually to have a lot of questions.
Yeah, there were nice questions actually in the morning.
I would like to welcome everybody to our product release webinar on the tasking TriCore Inspector. My name is Florian Süßmer. I'm responsible for product marketing at Tasking, and I will be the moderator of today's webinar. During the next 30 minutes, our field application engineer Dheeraj Gupta will provide you an overview of the TriCore Inspector and guide you through the main features and advantages of the automated software quality analysis tool. As a recognized leader in high quality, functionally safe and security compliant embedded software development tools, Tasking allows you to create best-in-class code size and performance with compilers, debuggers, and RTOS support for industry-leading microprocessors and microcontrollers. Let's have a look on the Tasking portfolio overview. The Tasking embedded software development solutions provide an industry-leading ecosystem for your entire software development process. We are offering the Tasking VX toolset for both Oryx TC2X and TC3X family, as well as we are supporting the latest Oryx TC4X family with our brand new Tasking Smart Code development environment. The tool chains are developed according to ASPICE Level 2, conform to the ISO 21434 cybersecurity standard, and are TÜV certified according to ISO 26262 up to ASIL D. The Tasking embedded profiler and the multi-core performance tool support part of the integration testing. Supplementary, Tasking is offering LAPACK performance libraries and qualified CMath libraries as per ISO 26262. In addition, we offer a static analysis tool, the Tasking Safety Checker, to ensure freedom from interference. For hardware configuration, the Tasking Pin Mapper completes the portfolio. And today, we will have a look at the Tasking Inspector. This tool will optimize your RATA management, removing the need to perform manual code verification by hand and to stay in complete compliance with industry standard safety regulations for the life of your project. This webinar will be recorded and will be available on demand on our website. You can see here the link directly leading to the on-demand webinars. Most probably it will be available within the next 24 hours. If you have any questions during the presentation, please use the Zoom function Q&A, and you can enter your webinar questions here. Questions will be then answered at the completion of the webinar during the Q&A session. Now let me introduce our speaker of today's webinar, Dheeraj Gupta. Dheeraj is a field application engineer at Tasking Germany, and he's supporting a wide range of customers in Europe. More than 8 years he has spent out of his career developing and testing embedded software in several positions as an embedded software developer for high-end secured connected devices on ARM-based microcontrollers at Infineon Technologies. He was into the embedded firmware and driver development for the devices which validate ECUs in autonomous driving. Dheeraj is interested in embedded software and driver development on ARM and multi-core automotive embedded software development. And I will hand over to Dheeraj now for the presentation.
Thank you, Florian, for the kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen from different parts of the world, I welcome you all for today's presentation. Let's begin the presentation with a few of the major incidents that occurred in our automotive industry. As most of you already know, there were many recalls in the previous years. One of the American OEMs had to recall a vehicle that had faulty code leading to a software error, and another American OEM's vehicle was recalled for an engine control module safety software issue. There was also a Japanese OEM who had to recall due to unintended acceleration. So these things are really dangerous and could lose one's reputation. The main target is to deliver software without any fatal defects, which is also popularly known as 0 kilometer defects. Right now, in the current scenario, when the vehicle is recalled, they have to recall the vehicles to the service station and update the software to get rid of the bug. This might get better in the future to make the software upgradation over the air, but the problem remains getting to know which modules have been affected and what fixes must be applied to roll out the updates, which remains a challenge for the OEMs. What we need is a process and a tool support to help us identify such defects. Now let's look at why is it important and complicated to find out the bug. So vehicles are getting intelligent and safer every year. There might be 30 to 100 plus ECUs inside a vehicle running complex algorithms. The future vehicles may have a limited number of ECUs performing much more complex operations. And this is because OEMs are trying to combine multiple functionalities inside a single ECU. This will in turn have a direct impact on the software because the software will get much more complicated. In practice, software from multiple vendors goes inside the ECU, thereby running millions of lines of code in it. It is possible that some issues are found in the software running inside the ECU, and this will be fixed by the person who is responsible for the software. But there is one common thing amongst all the software vendors, and that's the compiler. Analyzing and fixing the compiler issues in the millions of lines of code is a nightmare. To overcome such a nightmare and to make the life of our customers easy, Tasking has introduced a new tool, and that's Tasking TriCore Inspector. We want to make sure users can run tests automatically to detect the toolset issues inside the software code, thereby reducing their risks. So, how can customers reduce such risks? This will be the content of the webinar, which we will discuss for the next 15 minutes. Let's take up a real life problem at the customer. Customer problem arises from the duties out of product liability regulation, which makes the system provider responsible for the specified product functionality. Depending on the intended use, let's say, for example, safety functions, the customer's risks are large. Therefore, the customer follows regulations and standards to reduce their risk, proving that they did all that is possible from their end. One of the customer's measures to have the risks controlled is state of the art sub-supplier management, which in our case includes the duty to monitor our errata sheet. So in the real life situation where your project is close to an SOP and you receive a safety critical compiler patch from the compiler vendor. So now you analyze your software and you have got two options. You analyze the software and make sure that you are not affected by any of the issues fixed in the patch, or you are affected and you apply the patch, test your software again, and qualify it for safety. So in both cases, you are spending significant effort and time on your analysis or code review. So what if such an analysis can be automated? For that, what we need is a static analysis tool that can help us identify if our compiled source code is impacted by any safety critical issues, which could be a showstopper. Tasking TriCore Inspector is one such tool that makes sure you are not affected by an issue by running it on the whole software. And by this method, you find out what variants are affected easily and fix the code to that particular variant without wasting money and time. Ultimately, that's what we want, isn't it? Let's take a look at the functionality of tasking TriCore Inspector and how it works. So what is this tasking TriCore Inspector tool? The inspector tool is based on the same technology as our TriCore VX toolset compiler. It's just that it doesn't produce any executable code or an ELF file. Inspector tool is the one that automates and lists all the compiler, assembler, linker, or locator related safety critical issues your project is being affected by, and thereby making your life easier and reducing your time not to go through every issue on our tasking issues portal, which we provide you. So when the warnings are generated by the tool, it includes the tasking defect number, and the example is as shown. It's TC VX, TriCore VX toolset hyphen followed by the issue number. And this is the format. So once an issue is detected, you need to review and determine if a toolset patch is needed for your project. Inspector is version specific. The latest tasking VX toolset releases have their own TriCore inspector. This means to say we have the inspector support for the two new versions of our VX toolset, which is version 6.2 R2 and version 6.3 R1. Let's see how an inspector tool works when invoked on a working code. Let's say you have your application along with the third-party codes integrated. Now you want to check whether your project has any issues related to the toolset, which is compiler, assembler, or linker. So what you do is invoke the inspector tool by going to your project location on the command line terminal. And when the inspector tool starts, it goes through every file, just like our tasking VX toolset, and it throws warnings when it detects any issues related to the toolset. So the toolset as in compiler, assembler, or linker. As you can see, I have highlighted a particular warning where it says it detected the occurrence of an issue, and it also points out the impacted source file and subsequent line number. Normally, when the inspector tool runs, it will log all the detected occurrence of the issue in a log file like this. So now an issue is detected from the inspector pointing out a file and line number of the code. So now you know where to look in your project, and you go there to see where the problem is located and what the problem is. Then you trace it back to our issues portal and locate the issue. Tasking has implemented a web portal that contains all information on tasking's defect reports and mitigations database. This information is updated as and when an issue in the toolset is found, either finding it internally or through customers. The view of the issue portal depends on your access rights, and this is how we track compiler issues. So when you click on a particular toolset, it takes you inside where you land up with the basic view of the issues. There is also a functionality to export all the issues to XML or CSV formats. So now you traced back the issue generated by the inspector with the issue number, where you found it on your source code. And when you have a proper license with login credentials, if you click on an issue, it takes you to this page where the complete description is present, which tells you about the status of the problem, affected toolset versions with this problem. It also tells you about the issue related to which component of the toolset, talks about the resolution, safety, criticality level of the issue, the inspector toolset version available for this issue, and so on. It also tells you how to reproduce the issue and mitigate it. This is newly introduced by us. So when you go to the tasking issues portal, and for each issue, one can see if there is an inspector available or not with a yes or no column. So there are some no's as well, which tells the inspector is not available. That's because those issues are not very critical. They are either affecting debugger or toolset IDE, and they don't affect your project. And if you click on that issue, you will also see which specific inspectors do have a detector for that issue. Let's see some of the benefits of the inspector. So tasking TriCore inspector supports installation on both Windows and Linux platforms. You don't have to write complex search scripts to find out the compiler issues in your software. And there is also no need to do manual inspection by spending a lot of time and resources. Inspector tool will be up to date and synchronized. There will be regular updates to synchronize with the issues database, and with every product release update, there will be new issue detectors added. The tool reduces time and variability associated with manual checking. It can be easily integrated into the build process, and it can detect all the issues in a single build run. It requires minimal integration effort by the user. It can be used within a makefile and continuous integration environment. All in all, we can say inspector tool significantly reduces your manual code inspection. Here are some of the key takeaways from this webinar. So there exists high level confidence in the use of our tasking TriCore inspector. We have followed a matured development process combined with rigorous testing using perennial test suites. Tasking being one among the software supply chain, we have made sure the toolset we provide is developed as per ASPICE level 2, which is equivalent to CMMI in the United States. It is safety certified, and it is on par with ISO 26262 specification. It doesn't require any expert level knowledge to integrate the tool into the development process, and it detects all the safety critical toolset issues present in your software in one build run. It provides enough information to determine how you should mitigate the issue, thereby saving your time. At any given stage of software development, it helps you in risk assessment, thereby preventing the need for requalification or recertification of the entire software. We make sure to provide support throughout your license term by providing you frequent updates. With automation, we significantly reduce your time to market, save resources, and save money. One thing to remember, tasking is the one-stop shop for Oryx software development. Not only Oryx, but we also have a high performance, powerful tool set for ARM development, which will be released in the next month. So if any of you are interested in knowing more details on the ARM toolset, stay tuned for our upcoming webinar. Finally, here comes the licensing terms of the TriCore inspector. We offer you 3 types of licenses: evaluation for the term of 14 days, time-based and continuous integration licenses come with a half-year term or 1 full year. Support or maintenance is part of the license, but we support and assist you for free when you are on an evaluation license. Finally, let me urge you to get in touch with us, get your evaluation license, and test drive with your own code. I will now hand over back to Florian, and he will guide you further.
Thank you very much, Dheeraj, for your presentation. So now it's time for answering any questions you have on the TriCore Inspector. So please go ahead and use the Q&A function of Zoom, and we will be happy to answer your questions. So there's already one question popping up, and the participant is asking which components of the compiler toolchain can the inspector detect issues in?
Right. So as the tasking TriCore inspector is based on the same technology as our compiler toolchain, so it can detect compiler, assembler, and linker related issues.
Okay, thank you very much.
So to add a little clarification to that,
Yes.
so it will do both a C and C++ compiler, and it will also identify any issues with the control program.
Yeah, thank you very much for answering this question. Any other questions from the audience? Okay, there's one other question. Can you explain how the inspector recognizes which compiler options are set in the makefile?
Right. I'll pass it over this question to our technical marketing manager, Mr. Roger Smith. Maybe he can answer it better.
Yep, I sure can. So when you look at the different inspector tool executables, they're actually based on the actual tool set source code or executables plus the issue detector. So when you look at, for instance, the inspector C compiler, it has the C compiler source code, which is aware of, all of the various optimization settings, et cetera, that the compiler can take. So that's how when it's going through with the makefile, it can tell based on mitigation strategies, which are recommended in the issues portal, where it recommends certain optimization settings. That's why it can recognize the optimization settings there, or recognize that you have an issue based on the settings that you're using.
Thanks, Roger. Any other questions from the audience? We still have some time, so feel free to type in your questions. So there's another question popping up. How do you ensure that future issues are covered by the TriCore inspector?
Right. So as and when there are issues found on our tool set, so we will be publishing it on our issues portal. And not only that, so once the customers has a proper license, we also inform them about the new releases of our tasking TriCore inspector, new releases, new versions of it. So by this, they have the frequent updates, and as and when we find new issues, we'll update them. This is how we do it.
And just to add a little bit to Dheeraj's answer, you can always go to the version of the inspector that you have, and you can look at the release notes, and within the release notes, it will list all of the different issues that are detectable with that particular version of the tool. So that's another way to figure out what you have. And then, when the new version comes out, you can always look and see if your version is in there. And if for say it is not there, you can always contact tasking, and we can discuss ways of supporting you.
Thanks for answering this question. Any other questions? We still have some time, so feel free to ask any question. And as mentioned previously, this webinar is going to be recorded and will be also available on demand on our website from tomorrow onwards. So you can also forward it to your colleagues. And if there's a request for a free trial or evaluation license, please contact us and we will be happy to support you here and provide you a free trial license. So it seems like there are no further questions. So thank you very much for attending this webinar today and stay tuned. There will be future webinars coming up soon. In April, we will release our new VX toolset for ARM Cortex-M with the device support for the Infineon Travio 2 family. And we will be happy to welcome you again during one of our next webinar sessions. Thank you also very much, Dheeraj, for your presentation and Roger for your support answering the questions.
Thank you so much. I thank you all for your time as well, and I wish you an awesome day ahead.
Thank you, and have a nice day. Goodbye.